the number of students who don't thrive academically, but you give them a project like this and all of a sudden they take complete ownership of it and it just picks them up and moves them on to a different place. It's one of the biggest pluses of doing this work, is seeing that.
It's what's happening now that counts. It's that spark that's happening in the room at the time.
As you get to know the people, as you get to know the place, there's relief, it's reliable, you'll find your safe space. If you get to know the people, as you get to know the place, there's relief, it's reliable, you'll find your safe space.
Wow. Well done, folks. Oh, praise, really, really good. You don't know how good you are. Yeah.
So for us, within education, careers is one of the main things that we have to embed as part of our curriculum for every student across all of the key stages. So actually, the ability for us to be able to select students and target intervention within the performing arts for those students was a massive benefit for us. And it allowed us the opportunity to offer students opportunities that they might not necessarily get within the classroom. So being able to explore costume and set design and lighting design to a greater extent than we possibly would have done within the curriculum was a massive benefit.
So the brief was that by the end of the first day, the young people, 2 teams, would have provided enough material for Steve to use to and collect and combine for them to be able to use for choreography and for all of the other things that they were going to then do and all the other skills that they were going to build on top of that.
Nice. So the last verse. I'm excited for this challenge, a big new school. Opportunities
and ideas.
Opportunities.
Ideas to fuel.
Ideas to fuel. Okay, so that's the whole 2 beats, right.
The songwriting session was recorded very much like it would be if we were writing in a studio setting. We brought pro audio equipment into the classroom. Janet and Andrea then walked the students through the process and the discipline required in the recording process, like being quiet before and after takes.
When that's switched on, you don't make a sound at all. Picking your instruments up, standing up, doing anything is completely silent.
In fact, I've got my thing is on buzzing, so I'm going to stop it so it's off.
And Steve, if I've got these on, can you hear my click?
Yes. Right, if you could stand up, please, and if we could just do that again.
I think songwriting is always a really hard thing when you imagine kids are going to write a song and they've never done that before. You think, how on earth are they going to actually achieve that? And I was amazed by what they achieved in such a short length of time. And I think they really enjoyed the fact that it was all their ideas, so they had complete ownership of the song. So the community composer who came in, Janet, she was brilliant with them, and she really made sure that they all had a voice in that song. And she didn't really put pressure on them to, sing on their own or create anything outlandish. But what they created together was amazing. The words, I think, were really important. So they were talking about, the whole project was about new beginnings, and so they were talking about how when they first came to Ruskin, they were nervous. So we had these big nerve-wracking moments, and then they were suddenly confident, and it really made us think about how they must feel when they come into school, and how being part of a community and part of a team builds up your sort of strength and resilience.
The song that the 2 groups were writing for their performance that morning had to be able to be fully arranged later that evening to create one complete backing track for the choreographers and the students to work with the very next day.
Kick before you change. Kick before you change. Kick before you change. What is this called? Salsa step. Well done. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4.
We don't know what ability they're at yet, because they're still just, we're still getting to know the kids and they're getting to know us. And some of them haven't even danced before, so we had some beginners. We have kids who have danced quite a bit, so the response, we were just amazed by the response that we got. They got involved. The boys loved it because the style we were covering was street dance, and they were able to learn like popping and locking moves, so I think it just made them get involved even more. And yeah, it was just amazing. They've loved it, and at the end we kind of asked them, has it made their confidence grow? And they all put their hands up and said it had. And so yeah, I just think it's just been amazing for their confidence, their team building skills, and just everything really. I think they'll definitely continue doing it after as well, so that's the main thing.
Having 2 professional artists coming in, creating the costume designs for our upcoming musical production, then going away and creating the box designs where they could think about the colours that they were using in the backgrounds, and then how that sort of fed into what the students were creating practically, made that really nice combination that they could explore those different roles within the performing arts, not just being a performer, because we do have a lot of students who don't like performing, and we were able to then target those students at roles behind the scenes as well, which feeds really nicely into the BTEC course that we offer, where students are able to look at production design and element and be able to then add that into our space. It was a really wonderful opportunity that they wouldn't have necessarily been able to have with us at Key Stage 3.
One of the things that was really interesting in the afternoon session was working with Mary and Chris in a big group with everyone together and seeing how, as we created bits of music, they were already starting to add the dance moves to it. And I love working with different disciplines and across discipline, because you see your work in a different way and it gives you a completely different lens on what you're doing. And I remember in the afternoon seeing them starting to move as we were working on the grooves made me think differently about how we'd shape the grooves.
I think the biggest thing for the kids was having the opportunity to actually work on stage, and just work with the different professionals, not just myself, Kerry and Claire, but also people who they might not have gotten the chance to meet. Obviously we had a male street dancer, so to have that male figure for the boys was something that was really important. And again, you know, in Crewe there's not loads of street dance opportunities, so the fact that they had that was really influential to them, and I just think that it's made them realise actually they love dancing and they love being able to create moves for themselves, and they love being able to work in a group and choreograph. So yeah, I just think it's opened up such more opportunities for them really within the industry.
One of the really good opportunities for the children was working with 2 professional musicians, and I think the way that the musicians worked together and bounced off each other gave a real energy to the classroom and made a really exciting atmosphere, which made making the music lots of fun.
The reason the project went so well is because everybody that was involved was completely focused and actually very, very good.
They had to trust the process immediately. They had to trust us, total strangers. They just took it on board. You do need people to trust you for it to work, and they did. Big thing that.
I think a project like this going into a school can be a lifeline, especially for less academic students, opening the door to an industry that they may realise exists but wouldn't necessarily know how to access for work opportunities. The theatre is crying out for young people to get involved, and I'm sure now that these students know that these type of creative opportunities are available to them.
When I spoke to a student's mum over the phone, and she was kind of, like, oh, I don't think I'll be into it, it's not really his thing. And then by the end of the week I spoke to her again just to see whether she was coming to the performance. And she was just saying how much she loved it and how he was going home and telling her about how great it was and the people that he'd worked with. He had met new friends as well that he wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet because he wasn't like in the same class as them or anything like that. So again, it's not even just, it's part of like that community that it brings to the kids, the fact that they've been able to kind of work with kids they wouldn't have been able to work with. Has just improved their confidence. So again, the mum was just, you know, super excited that he'd had that opportunity.
To what is our first sort of fantastic opportunity to work with Clonter Opera, which is based in Congleton. So my colleagues will explain a little bit more about what the project is in a second. So they're obviously eager to start, desperate. They've been working so hard over the last 3 days, and it's been a really fantastic collaboration, something that we can really hope we can do again.